Okay, so, hi. It's time to do my 2017 recap, which is crazy because at the beginning of 2017, I committed to doing one video vlog, not blog. I typically try to blog, but this year I figured I would get in front of a camera and talk and try to just talk and not like over perfect and edit and do all this stuff. And like now I'm like adjusting this one. I hope you can hear me. Okay, I usually do this on my computer, but it's being weird right now, so. Um, okay, here we go. The videos are typically around 5 minutes, less than 10 minutes, but this one will probably be longer because I want to talk about the entire year. So if you didn't follow my 5 and 5 vlogs for 2017, this is kind of the rundown of everything. I have it on a big piece of paper because I like writing stuff down. So yeah, 2017 was huge. There were a few things that I definitely knew were going to happen and I wanted to happen. So I knew that I would complete my 200-hour yoga teacher training. I completed that in March, done. I knew it was coming. I paid for it. I went through the work. I did all of the stuff. So that was a definite happening. What else happened that was going to happen? Yeah, I don't, all of the other stuff is just kind of like happened throughout the year. But, Ashley's wedding, so I knew that was going to happen. That was huge. My roommate's watching a sports game, so it's a little loud out there. Let's see. So, yeah, something that I wanted to do that I didn't know how or when or like what was going to come of it, but I knew I wanted to leave my 9 to 5 job, my career, the thing that I thought was like it for me for the rest of my life. I worked in advertising. It was my dream. It was like why I went to college and did my degree and all this stuff. But once I got into it, I discovered that I wanted to do it on my own. So this year, or 2017, it's technically a week into 2018. I'm a little late because we were out of town. But I wanted to quit my job and replace my income. Those were like two things. Hashtag replace my income 2017. That was like the biggest thing on my mind. I cried about it. I freaked out about it. I was scared about it. It was crazy. I did it. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm going to leave by like August or September or October and it's going to be great. That's my plan. I'll give my notice and then I'll work through the end of the year and all this stuff. And I had this idea in my mind and I ended up giving my notice at the beginning of July. Worked through the end of October, and since then I've been my own boss, I guess. It happened a lot sooner than I thought it would in my mind, and it's just funny how life works out for you. So that was huge. It was my goal. It was my intention to leave my job. I just didn't know how or why, and I loved my job and still love all of them and the work and my clients and stuff, but I couldn't do it anymore in that setting. So I'm still doing marketing. I'm still doing a lot of the same work that I was doing. I'm just doing it for myself and for clients that I get to now pick and choose and work with and manage on my own, and I'm just doing it on my own. So it's really cool. And it's allowed for me to have a lot more time. I'm really just rambling right now. I mean, anyway, so all the perks of leaving your job. You get to sleep in whenever you want, go wherever you want, whenever you want, set your own rules. And that's kind of how I like to live my life. So that happened. Let's run down the list though. So January 2017, I started dating Chandler. We just had our 1-year anniversary. A little over a year ago, I was in a place where I thought I would never meet someone and I would be alone forever. It's kind of dramatic, but I felt that way. I felt very too much and unlovable, and like I would always be a little too intense for anyone to like love me forever. So that was the weird thing that I went through at the end of 2016. So moving into 2017, I met Chandler, and it has all just been real since then. It's really hard to explain, but we're still together, and it's great. 1 year later, yeah, it's crazy. I've written a lot about it, so maybe some of that will come out, but yeah. If you go watch my January 5 and 5, I get all like nervous and smiley saying I have a boyfriend. So that one's pretty cute. Let's see. I did Yoga Mala. I rang in the new year of 2017 with YMG in Red River Gorge. So YMG is my group of 3 best friends. Don't ask what it means. We won't tell you. But for the 2nd year in a row, we were in a cabin and in our PJs and just being together for the new year. So we did that last year. Yoga teacher training. I did my 8th Whole 30 in January last year, and it was right when I met Chandler and he joined me. So it was really cool to see the both of us loving the same food and loving the kind of mindset that Whole 30 brings. So that was a cool way to begin our relationship, I think. Cool. So February, I did a program called 40 Days to a Personal Revolution through 502 Power Yoga, and it's a really cool program that offers you just a 40-day guide of yoga and meditation and inquiry with a group of people. So you have weekly meetings with other people going through the program, and it's just a really cool community aspect of like kicking off the year on the right foot and kind of getting grounded. I love that. I actually this is so funny, but in that program in February, we wrote ourselves letters that were going to be mailed to us 6 months or a year later or whatever. Kind of forgot about it. So I wrote myself this letter, and the other day it came. But whenever I picked it up, I looked at it and I was like, this is really weird. This looks like my handwriting, but it's to me. And I looked at Chandler and I was like, what is this? So I ripped it open and I pulled it out and I like started crying. And it freaked me out because I thought somehow someone had my handwriting and they were writing me a letter from me. Like, I don't know. I completely forgot what it was. So then I had the aha of like, oh, I wrote myself this letter a year ago. And it was asking about my relationship and have I quit my job yet and how am I doing. And it was just a really cool letter of like, holy shit, I did all of this stuff. And now I'm crying because like I wrote myself a letter. So I think I'm going to write myself a letter again. It was really cool. I just don't know how I'll get it mailed to me. Maybe I'll just hide it or something and then re-find it later. I don't know. Oh well. Okay, so that was a really cool program that I did. I had to go to New York City for a client event in February. That was really cool and fun. And it was the first time I went on a work trip and like wanted to come home. It was kind of drawn out. It was freezing. It was winter, so they got like a huge snow in New York and we got stuck there for another day, and I did not want to be there for another day. It was a lot. So I got to stay in a cool hotel though. So the hotel was cool. But yeah, that trip was weird and I never wanted to come home more than I did then. And I love trips and travel and stuff like that. So it was a really weird feeling for me on that trip. Let's see. So I spoke to a student class at the college that I went to in February and just got to tell them about my life and what I do and career advice, and it was super cool. I really like talking to people a few steps behind me in life and kind of sharing my experience to show them the possibility and kind of what can happen and what can be in their life, not just, don't follow my footsteps, but empower them to know that there is a lot to do and choose from. And I don't know, I really loved that. So that was cool. One day Maria and I went and bought fish. My fish was Cosmo. It literally was like a white iridescent literally rainbow colored looking fish, like pink and purple and blue and white. It was gorgeous. He died the same day. I don't really know what happened, but apparently something with the water and something in the water. I don't know, but he died. So it was really sad. So, Cosmo, miss you, bud. in our few-hour relationship that we had. I created a 3-day clean eating guide. So that was to support the 40 Days to a Personal Revolution program and the participants in that, but it also kind of leads into my 30-day clean eating guide that I have. So that's free. You can find it on my website. It's a really cool resource to kind of jump into 3 days of clean eating without having to plan or think too much about how or why or what or whatever. And then I had my 4-year anniversary at Leap in February, so that was weird and emotional and crazy, and to look back at all of the things that have happened in 4 years since I was in college and was an intern and then, started my career. So that was fun. March. So in March, I graduated from yoga teacher training. That was the thing that I knew was going to happen. It was super cool, a really fun moment. Right after that, I flew out to Boulder, Colorado to meet Chandler because he was there for a workshop he was putting on. And we just spent a few days in Boulder. I've never been there. We went on a picnic in the mountains. We went hiking. We ate a lot of tacos, and it was really great. Let's see, what else? Started building my website. So I've had a lot of websites over the years, and they've been very blog focused and like telling people about my life, I guess. So I decided to start building my website, HaleyHeischman.com, with all of my offerings and things that I create and write and put out there, and kind of building the personal brand hub of what I am now. I mean, I've always been Haley Heischman, but, a place to go since now I am my own boss or service or whatever. Oh yeah, in March, checked my credit score, and it was super high, like extremely high. I was pumped about that, so that's on this list. In April, I launched my website, HaleyHeischman.com. Check it out. It's always evolving, but I'm really proud of the work that I've done, and I have no web design experience and stuff, so I built it on my own, and I really love it. I taught my first yoga class on my own, by myself. I created my own class in the community, and I launched it, so that was badass. We stayed at a tree house for Chandler's birthday. That was so much fun, like an authentic, real tree house. There's a video on my channel from April called Sylvan Float Treehouse or something. You can go watch it and see the treehouse. It was a really freaking cool experience. I did the minimalism challenge. So that is where on the first day of the challenge you give away 1 thing. And the second day you give away 2 things. And the third day 3 things. So by the end of the 30 days you've given away a shit ton of stuff. I made it to day 22, I think. And I had nothing else to give away. Now that I look at my room and my closet, I'm like, I could do that again. But it was a really cool way to see all of the stuff I'd been holding and keeping and piling up, just piling up and taking up space. Clothes that I haven't worn in years, or clothes with tags on it that I don't even like just weird stuff where I felt kind of ridiculous to have that much stuff. So I donated a lot of that. I gave a lot of it away to friends who wanted it, and I disposed of it properly, so that felt really good. I relaunched my ebook. So my clean eating guide is a 30-day guide, kind of like Whole30, but it lays out 4 weeks of meal plans, 4 weeks of grocery lists, so every single thing you need to buy at the grocery for those meals, 30 plus recipes, pictures, tips, advice, all of that. It's on my website. It's beautiful. It's my first baby that I created for myself, so I love that. I brewed kombucha for the first time. So I love kombucha. It's my fave. So I wanted to start brewing it, and I did. And I've had a few bad batches, but it's been really fun to kind of go through that. I won an award at Leap. So we have 2 things called SOB at the agency, and it's State of the Business, and it's a full day meeting of everyone coming together to talk about what their team does and our accomplishments, and it's just kind of a really cool regrouping 2 times throughout the year to see what everyone else is doing, because agencies are so fast-paced and just a lot going on. And I won the biggest standout badass award, and I cried, of course. It was really cool, and an honor, I guess I would say. Yeah, so that was a big moment, I think. And then Chandler and I also did like a 2-day fast where we drank black coffee and water for 2 days. We kind of just decided to do it. I don't really remember why, but we said, let's do a fast. So we did it, and the really cool realization that we had was that there's so much time when you're not when you're not consumed with what do I eat next, what meal is next, I'm hungry, snacking, grabbing, like just like the mindless part of eating, I guess. And like eating is a really incredible thing in my mind. We get to put stuff in our bodies and then our bodies work. It's like gas in a car. It's just so crazy to me. And this fast showed us, well, specifically showed me, that we get to choose to fast, and so many people don't even have food. So it was a really cool experience to kind of humble myself and realize that, like, I'm not gonna starve, and I'm not fasting all the time or starving myself or anything like that, but you won't starve, and our bodies are capable of a lot. And like at dinner time, you look at each other and say, well, what do you want to do? Because you can't go out to eat or make dinner. So you kind of get creative with what you do with that time that you would usually be eating. It's a cool experiment or experience or whatever, if you want to try it. Do it safely, do it, properly. I don't know, like look at medical stuff and whatever. I'm not by any means a medical professional, so I know my body pretty well, and it was fun. So that was cool. Let's see, May. So month 5. Let's see. I got a new intern at Leap. So this is my last intern ever in the agency world. Sydney came and joined me for the summer. She was an amazing help to me, and she's actually moving to Louisville, so that's cool. But so at the beginning of May, I found this really, really cool off-the-grid cabin on Airbnb. So I booked it, I surprised Chandler, and we went. It's in Bloomington, Indiana. That's about 2 hours for us. So we drove up there, didn't really know what to expect, except for the host said, like, it's really simple, and there's no running water, there's no electricity, I hope that's okay. So she made sure to check to make sure we knew what we were booking. But we pulled up, it's on this big plot of protected land, and it's a little cabin in the woods. Like, it's like almost a mile up a trail from where the family lives, and there's a wood-burning stove, there's a porch that wraps around like 2 sides of the house. It's gorgeous. It's just surrounded by trees and nature, and it's literally a nature bath. So we've been there 3 times now. And every time we've kind of had these really cool, like, realizations of, like, no phone, no service, there's just, like, being together right now and cooking real food on a wood-burning stove and, like, going to bed when the sun goes down. It's just, like, a really cool old way of, like, living, I guess. Yeah, so go off the grid if you can somewhere. I'm, like, obsessed now. I want to get off the grid like once a quarter at least. Once a month would be amazing, but it's been amazing. So off the grid. Let's see, I redid my room, so this is my new blanket. I have cactus sheets. I think they're really cute. I had this like gray and yellow like bedspread for a long time, and I loved it. It was super soft, so I never wanted to change it. And my mom was like, why don't you change your room? Why don't you change your bed? Like, don't you want something new? And finally, we were at Target one day, and I saw this in, like, the kids section. And I was like, oh, I love that. I need the coral and the cactus sheets and whatever. So my bed stuff brings me a lot of joy. And there it is, behind me. What else? So in May, I started, like, getting kind of anxious and freaking out about, like, how do I replace my income? How do I do it? How do I do it? Like, how is it possible? It's not possible. And, like, crunching numbers and adding everything up. And I was sitting on my living room floor on, like, a Saturday, I think, and I was home alone, and I started adding up numbers and, like, calculating, like, the what ifs and the coulds and the the potential things that I could create and put out there to replace my income. And then I thought, how much money do I even make? That sounds crazy, I guess, but I didn't really know because I have a salary and it was just coming in every month and it's great and it pays my bills and I'm happy. I'm not like swimming in cash, but I was living comfortably and like happy with what I had. So I was like, well, wait a minute, what number am I even trying to replace here? What does this really look like? So I get into my bank account and like look it all up or whatever, and I was like, okay, there's the number. So then I went back to my hypothetical sheet and added up the numbers, and it literally equaled my salary. And I cried. I'm gonna cry now. I cried for like an hour, and I was like, oh my god, it is so easy to replace your income if you want to. Like, if you want to make money a different way, it's right here on a piece of paper. Like, oh my god. And I cried, and I knew. I was like, oh my god, I have to leave my job. I have to go do something else. I have to be more than what I'm being now, and I know that's a lot. And I know I want to write more, and I want to create more, and I want to work on really meaningful stuff. So that aha was my kick in the butt to figure it out and get the, for lack of better words, like get the balls to say that I wanted to leave. And like that in itself was another huge hurdle of like verbalizing to my coworkers and my family and my friends, like, I want to leave. Everything's great, everything's good, and I want to leave. So yeah, the adding up the money thing was kind of like the push I needed to see that it was possible. So that happened in May. And then June came along. I'm sorry, I have like a runny nose. It's freezing here and I apologize. June, I did another Whole30, so I did my 9th Whole30. I hosted my first Yoga Basics workshop in Louisville, and that was a ton of fun. I've never hosted a workshop because I was new teacher, and my hair's like driving me crazy. Ashley's bridal shower was in June, so I've never gone to like a friend's bridal shower and stuff. That was really cool and a fun first time thing for me, I guess. I started developing my Yoga Basics program, which is an online yoga program that's a daily email that teaches you and helps you start yoga. So I started doing that in June. And I was like, I'm going to launch in July. That didn't happen. And I was like, I'm going to launch in August and September and October. I launched in November with a really incredible program, and I couldn't be more proud. I love this program, and I really hope that it helps a lot of people. But yeah, it's there, and it's alive, and it's real, and I kind of can't believe it. But anyway, I started going through the Artist Way. So this is like a 12-week creative uncovering guidebook, workbook. It's kind of like discovering the creativeness in you, because we all have a creative nature. And through 12 weeks, you do morning pages where you write 3 pages every morning in a journal. You do some artist dates where like you go somewhere by yourself, like you go on dates with yourself and feel inspired. So there's a lot of cool stuff in that book, but the morning pages helped me get back to writing, and that's the only thing that I wanted, was to write every day again. So I'm here, and it's happening. What else? Oh, I got a new phone. My phone like crapped out on me and was acting really weird, so I got a new phone. I got a brand partnership with a collagen peptide brand called Further Food, where I have like a promo code for them and stuff, and I'm a huge fan of collagen peptide protein, so check it out. They're like Whole30 and stuff, and it's some extra protein, good for your skin, hair, nails, bones, all the good stuff. And then we stayed at Fox Haven again, which is the off-the-grid cabin. We stayed for 2 nights that time, and summertime, the days are like so long, like so long, that we didn't have a clock or anything. So at one point we were like, what time is it? And like, what do we do now? We've read, we've written, we've eaten, we've played games, and we got bored. We physically were like, oh my god, this is real boredom. This is not just generic like, I'm bored. it was actual boredom. And that was a weird feeling. Yeah, so go off the grid and get really bored. What else? So in July, for 7 months, I said I was going to get my passport. I did it. I got my passport. It happened. I submitted my paperwork in July. I think I did it on like the last day of the month. But whatever, it's fine. Ashley's bachelorette party happened. We went to Nashville. We took like a pole dancing class. That was freaking fun. I want to do that again. I got new glasses. I don't know where they are, but they're really cute. I like them. I had my other glasses for like years, and they were cute as well, but it was time for some new ones. So I got new glasses, and I gave my notice at work. So I gave over a 90-day notice, which everyone thought was kind of crazy. By the time the 90 days were over, I was like, oh, that was a long time, but I'm grateful I did it. So that was interesting. August was my birthday. I turned 26, so I love birthdays. They're my jam. I had a really good birthday. Ashley's wedding was in August, which really stressed me out and helped me see like their love, and then also like just a new way of seeing weddings, I guess. I've only ever been to like weddings and had friends who's got married, but like never had anyone that close to me get married. So it was a really like cool experience, and I think I was way more stressed out than she was, and I claim that I don't get very stressed out. So for me, it was like a really weird experience, freaking out about what nail polish I was going to paint my nails, and I cried over my nail polish. So I don't even know. It's just so weird. So yeah, I had like a bridezilla moment in my own mind for Ashley's wedding. But it was a great time. So, the solar eclipse happened. Chandler, his dad, and I went down to like the line of totality and saw the full eclipse, where you can take your glasses off and just look up and like see the hazy, moody sky and the moon over the sun, and like it was crazy. Like I don't know. It was just so weird. That was really cool, and I'm so glad I got to see that. My friend Octavia passed away in August, unexpectedly. I've been friends with her for a very long time, and I'm probably going to cry a few times in this video, but yeah, that was really, really hard for me, and really like unexpected, and yeah, so that happened. What else? So September, my sister and I went to go see the Hanson Brothers in Nashville, which we're huge fans. That was like a childhood dream that we went to go do in our 20s, and it's just so funny. My sister's 30, but whatever, same thing. I got my first freelance client. That was awesome. Still working with them, so it's become a long-term relationship, ongoing relationship. Let's see. I bought my dad Reds tickets for his birthday, because that's what I always do for his birthday, and he ended up not being able to go, so I invited Chandler to come to a baseball game with me, and like it was a really funny experience. So like we've never gone to like a sporting event together, and I only go to sporting events with my dad or my family, so we get there, it's like sweltering hot, so freaking, like we're just covered in sweat walking there. We get there, I find our seats, and I say, here they are, let's sit down, and like a little bit later, some man comes up to us and he's like, you're in our seats. So I sat us in the wrong seats. We had to get up and move, and we enjoyed the game. It was really fun and a cool experience for us. So, yeah, I don't know why. I have this tendency of like taking us to the wrong place. I'll get there in a minute, but I have another funny story like that. Okay, so I started tracking my budget and my spending in October, because I was quitting my job, and it was the last month of me being full-time, so I was like, where do I spend my money, and like, where does it go, and I'm freaking out. So I'm still using my budget tracking app, and I really like it. It's EveryDollar, if you want to check it out. It's not like anything revolutionary, it just helps me, because I need something to help me manage my money, but the last thing in September, so we went out into the woods, and Chandler said he had saw pawpaws in the woods, and I'm like, pawpaws, like those fruit that we heard about that are in Ohio or something? And he's like, yeah, I saw a bunch of them in the woods. I'm like, okay, let's go get some. So we go and we foraged like 20 pawpaws, and they're like these like oval green fruit. They're like the largest indigenous fruit in America or something, or the only? That's not, is that right? I don't know. They're cool. They're really freaking good. But so I got all these pawpaws, and I said, I'm gonna make something with them. Well, I start Googling, and I can't find anything. And I thought that was really weird. I'm like, well, why can't I find anything? Turns out they're really hard to bake with. And I didn't really like the pawpaw pie that I made. Chandler liked it, so that was good. But it was kind of funky. So I made a pawpaw pie, and I probably won't be making it again. Let's see, October, so that was in September. So in October, was my last month full-time. In the same month, my yoga studio, 502 Power Yoga, offered me their marketing manager position. So like, worlds colliding. I now get to help my favorite yoga studio with my favorite skill of marketing. So like, it's a marriage of just like all of my things. So that happened. It's like I don't know, it's just like a dreamy experience and like opportunity. So that's cool. We went to Florida for the first time together. I love Florida. I love the beach. I love the ocean. I think if I liked swimming more, I'd be a mermaid. But I'm not super fond of swimming. I kind of like floating and just being near and in the water. But anyway, we went to Florida, and it was so much fun. So the funny story, similar to the baseball game story, we got an Airbnb, and I'm looking at the directions as Chandler's driving, and I was like, okay, the house is right down here, pull in, and I'm like, this is it, great. So we get out of the car, go to the front door and knock, and then I thought for a second, I was like, this doesn't seem right. I took us to the wrong house. So it took us to some random person's house, and we're just knocking on the door with our luggage, and oops. We found the right house, and it was hilarious. And then every time we walked past that house, we just giggled because we're knocking on someone's door. But that was hilarious. Let's see. My friend Chelsea married her honey, Bobby, in October, and the Zesto girls and I got to go. I think it was like an hour and a half away, or, an hour and a half-ish, 2 hours away. So we kind of all packed up and road tripped down there and got a hotel and went to the wedding and danced the night away, and it was a blast. I love hanging out with those girls. And then, so, just when I had never dealt with death in my life, I mean, honestly, like, I've had some distant relatives die, and then, like, my uncle passed away recently, but it didn't affect me the way that my friend Octavia did, or my grandma. So my grandma got really sick in September, and then passed away in October, and that's my mom's mom, and it was horrible. It was just horrible, and that's all I can say. Like, it was absolutely horrible. Dang it. See, I told you I'd cry again. I'd never seen this experience as close as I did, and watched my mom lose her mom, and like, I don't know, I guess it's like the mother-daughter bond or whatever, but it was so weird to like watch the whole like mom-daughter, I don't know, of witnessing that. It was horrible. So anyway, that happened, and it sucked, and it still sucks, and I miss her. So oh man. See, the thing about these videos are that I want to keep it real, and like I don't want to edit or perfect, and so I guess I'll just cry and talk to you about how I'm not going to perfect my videos. Cool. So, life is interesting and hard and fun and great and amazing and weird. So, November happened, which led us into the holidays, which were really hard because missing a grandparent during the holidays is horrible. So in November, I launched my Yoga Basics program. It's out there. People are doing it. I love it. It's amazing. If you want to start yoga, I believe it's a great place to start. It is what I have put together to help people begin. So if you want to start yoga, check it out. If you have questions, let me know. I'm here for you. I got another freelance project in November that I got to launch and run through the holidays. It was a super cool partnership and we saw amazing results, so that one was great. Gosh, now I'm like really sniffling. The LDA conference happens every year. I'm on the board of the LDA, which is the Louisville Digital Association, and it's a group of people who are marketers and entrepreneurs and startuppers and digital-minded people. So we put on our conference, I think it was like the 8th or 9th annual, I don't know, I've been to like 5 of them. So that happened in November. I love doing that. We went to the Gorge for Maria's birthday, and that was a ton of fun. It was funny because a few of her best friends don't like hike as much as like I do or Maria does, and it was like a really cool combination of like regular hikers and then like city-ish people. I mean, I live in the city and like I'm city-ish, I guess, but like it was just a really cool experience to have like all of us together and like be in the woods. Yeah, I had a ton of fun. So that was fun. And then in November, Chandler and I got invited to this like foraged dinner where all of the food at the dinner it was like a potluck, but it was all foraged. So it was like locally foraged food, all real stuff. I need a drink. So it was all real food that was locally picked and foraged and gathered, and it was an amazing dinner. Like, the people were super cool and the dinner was phenomenal. Like, I wish I could eat like that every day. So I want to learn how to forage. Yeah, 2018 and lifelong initiative will be to like learn how to forage more or like know what is what. So that was an amazing experience. So December, that just happened. Chandler moved here. He is now a Louisville local. I'm super pumped about it. He's been staying here most of the year anyway. We were commuting back and forth from Cincinnati to Louisville, and turns out he loves Louisville, so he told me, and I was thrilled when he said that because I also really love this city and this area. Like, growing up, I grew up in southern Indiana, so I didn't quite appreciate Louisville or know what was going on here and like what the city had to offer. And as soon as I moved over here, 4 years ago, 2014, as soon as I moved over here sometime, I fell in love. Like, I love the city, I love the size, I love the parks and the people and the restaurants, and we have a super great food culture. So he's here now. He lives here, and I'm so excited. Maria graduated from her master's program, so that was like huge for her, but also I got to see her go through the work of being a student, a full-time employee, like a worker. She has a full-time career, a long-distance boyfriend. Her family is all in different places and states, and like how she manages it all, I don't know. Like, I don't know, but it was so cool to see her kind of complete that chapter in her life. So congrats, Em. What else? So I got a 3-day cold, like right before Christmas. I was snotty and laid up in bed and just felt like bleh. So that sucked. That was unexpected. What else? I got my car maintained, so now I'm in a regular schedule of maintaining my car since, I don't know, this year. I had 3 flat tires. I just procrastinate with like car maintenance, and I put it off until it's probably not good. So now I'm in a regular routine of taking care of my vehicle and all the stuff. I have brand new tires on every wheel, so like we're good. I hope. Penny, my sugar glider, is 4. I've had her for 4 years. She's my little critter. I love her. My mom calls her grand critter because I don't have kids. So Penny's 4. Juan is now, I guess that makes Juan 3. Juan is my hermit crab. Those are my pets, and I love them. And I was reading and reflecting in all of my journals. I filled up over 5 journals in 2017 of just free writing and thoughts and gratitude and dreams. And so I've always wanted to write down my dreams, literally like sleeping dreams. I have really vivid, crazy dreams. So I started writing those down, and they're actually really funny and like weird to read later. So writing down my dreams and my life dreams and my goals and thoughts and fears and doubts and all of my stuff in these journals. And I started going through them and like writing down all of my gratitude and like what went through my head in 2017. And I'm so excited to keep doing it, and I'm now back to the reclamation of my writingness. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm a writer, and I've always been a writer. I've written since I could write, but my entire life I kind of struggled with I have sloppy handwriting, and I need better handwriting, and it's embarrassing. And then I dealt with the whole like diaries, but then my mom would find my diaries and read my diaries, and then I'd want to hide them and not write. And then there were things I didn't want to write because like I didn't think I should write them. And then like going through the phase of like wanting to write but being too busy, I guess. Like I've gone through a lot of weird phases where I've like shunned or like put off my passion for writing, and I'm done with it. I am so freaking done with not writing that I can't stop. Like and my hands cramp a lot and stuff, and like I write, and I've never felt better about just writing whatever comes out, and it's amazing. And I'm a writer. Who knew? I knew. So there it is. I am a writer, and I've got some big plans for 2018. I hope you stick around to kind of share this life with me and see what happens, and, share your life, share your story. I think it's really, really important to not hide behind the perfection and editing and filters and my life's so perfect all the time, everyone look, and then like in the background you're crying every night and you're sad and lonely. And like, if you want to share and share it all and be really honest, because the one thing that you won't regret is being honest. I have learned that the hard way. Honesty and like just being true to yourself. So be true to yourself, friends. Happy 2018. I hope it's amazing. And I hope you don't use it as a marker of like just another year, because like life is happening every day. And now I'm getting all over here, and life is now, so I'm gonna go be here now and hang out with Chandler and eat lunch and play and go for a walk or whatever. So I'll see y'all later. I love you. Bye.